So are you wondering what is canning and pickling salt and why do I need to use it when canning? Or are you wondering, can I just use table salt when canning? Today I'm going to answer those questions. It's Jody with All About the Harvest, and today I'm going to explain the difference between the two and then explain why you would want to use one versus the other. So canning salt or pickling salt is typically found in a store in the canning section or even in the salt section. This is just the current box that I have, but it can come in a bag as well. And there might be different name brands, but Morton is usually the name that I get. So the main reason you want to use the canning salt is because it has no additional additives and it has no anti-caking agents like your typical table salt will have. Sometimes table salt also has additives like iodine, and the canning and pickling salt has no additives. So when you use this salt, you get a very clear brine. For example, say you're pickling, but also if you're using, you can use this also in things like tomatoes or salsa, things like that. It doesn't cloud up your brine and it is just a very pure form of salt. Now, you could use canning and pickling salt as your regular salt. So you could, if you're a canner or if you got a great deal on canning and pickling salt or you ran out of your normal table salt, you could use this salt in your salt shaker for your actual regular salt. Now again, there is no iodine and there are no anti-caking agents, so it could potentially clump together, whereas your table salt, they have that added in, so you won't have that happen. You shouldn't have that happen, but sometimes humidity happens and you may have your salt clumping. Another thing that is discussed when it comes to canning salt is the size of the granules. So if you were to use a bigger salt or a kosher salt or one that's flaky, a bigger granular salt, because that flaking salt or the bigger granular salt varies in density, it's not recommended to be used. So I'm going to read to you specifically what the National Center for Home Food Preservation recommends. Use of canning or pickling salt is recommended when you're preparing and canning pickled foods. Pickled foods can be anything that's pickled. It doesn't just have to be cucumbers. It can be things like asparagus and cauliflower and carrots and onions and beans. So anything that's being pickled. Fermented and non-fermented pickles may be safely made using either iodized or non-iodized table salt. So you can use table salt with canning for making your pickles, any of your pickled foods. However, non-caking materials added to table salts may make the brine cloudy, and that is what I had mentioned earlier. Flake salt varies in density and is not recommended for use. So in regards to reduced sodium salt, the use of them in fermented pickle recipes is not recommended. So do not use the reduced sodium salt in fermented pickle recipes. Those are not being canned, they're being fermented. Reduced sodium salts may be used in quick pickle recipes as indicated in the Complete Guide to Home Canning, which is put out by the USDA. If you use light salt or a reduced sodium salt, the pickles may have a slightly different taste than expected. So unless you have a health need to use that light salt, I would recommend using your regular canning salt for that. So hopefully this helps clear up some questions that you may have on when do I use canning salt and pickling salt and when can I use table salt, or which can I use. Same thing would be said for the Himalayan salt or the sea salt. I would say that that would fall in the realm of the table salt. So the takeaway is canning and pickling salt would be the preferred salt. However, you could use a regular table salt or a sea salt or a Himalayan salt. However, it has to be a fine salt. It cannot be a coarse salt. So if you can get your hands on canning and pickling salt, that's what I would use. That is what I use for any of my canning recipes. Whenever they call for salt, I use the canning and pickling salt. I hope that clarifies things for you. For more canning tips and tricks, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to be notified when I release a new video each Wednesday. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about canning and want to know how to do it the safe way, I will be opening up the doors to my canning course soon. I will put a link to my canning course waitlist in the description below this video. And when I open those doors, you'll be one of the first people to know. If you have any questions on canning, please put them in the comments below. Or if you have any specific questions regarding canning and pickling salt versus table salt, please let me know as well. Just put that in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Share this video with friends that may be interested in canning or have questions about canning salt and what to use. Again, this is Jody with All About the Harvest, and I look forward to seeing you next week.